Okay, so today's show is going to be about Syria.
Shifting gears. I say nuke them off the planet.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Another Way Around, and this is the AwayCast number 22. We made it, Greg. I'm joined by Gregg, Andrew De La Rocca.
Hey.
Gregg's here. I'm also joined this week by, once again, Dan Devine. Jerry.
That was Arsenio, thanks.
Oh, well, come on, man. We're the same age. You shouldn't be doing Arsenio. Jerry's more our...
I guess. Well, I learned my jokes from people making jokes about Arsenio. You know what I'm saying?
All right. And we're also joined by, from Chicago, Josh Hinkey.
What up, yo? I'm so sweaty. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Josh had to turn his fan off because...
I had to turn my fan off so we can get this podcast
Sacrifice
going.
for quality.
Yeah,
You don't have to sacrifice for quality, Josh.
Use
true,
it.
that's
Use
true.
it. Use it as inspiration.
Yes.
Use the sweat.
Really what this means is I should just get in better shape. I wouldn't sweat so much.
Hey, Josh, I have to ask you a question once and for all. How do you pronounce your last name appropriately?
Hinky.
No,
okay,
I don't
so
buy that.
Hinky.
Is that what we
Hinky.
say?
Because some fellows on another podcast say Hink.
I know. And this
Is
the
that
problem.
because they have a very awkward accent?
No.
maybe?
It's
No.
because they don't know how to say it. And I've just gotten to the point in my life where I've given up trying to correct people.
Okay.
Josh Hank.
Are you sure it's not a silent H in your name?
Hank.
Josh Inc.
Josh Inky.
I will correct people. Like, I'll correct them the first time, but once it gets to the second and third time, that's when I'm like, you know what? Just go with it.
I was
Whatever.
nervous either they or us were pronouncing it wrong, so I just wanted to set the record straight. Josh Hink.
Hinky. Hinky.
All right.
Josh Inc. Got it.
So, Greg, how have you been since our last podcast? How's everything? How's your weekend?
Weekend is fabulous. It was fantastic.
Greg and I hung out. We played a couple old retro games.
Yeah, we played the original Rayman, which was a fucking horrible game, and we played Star Fox.
64 SNES.
No, SNES.
We
That
played
was
some
fun.
stuff. Yeah,
that was good.
Did that hold up all right?
No.
It's really hard to play that game.
What it is, it's hard to just focus on what's happening. I don't know if it's because we're older or what, but everything looks the same now.
Well, we've been spoiled with 15, 20 years of like
Yeah.
advanced 3D
Yeah,
technology,
yeah.
looking at like a smush of everything in one plane, pretending to be 3D.
Yeah.
That's not really cutting it anymore.
I wouldn't say we've been
My
spoiled.
brain-
We've been alongside the evolution of it. I don't think we've been spoiled by it.
I've personally been spoiled. Just
How
spoiled
dare
every
things
day
get better?
by 3D games.
So what happened was, is my dad. What's up, Dad? He built a big console.
piece of furniture, you put your systems in
Wait,
there.
your dad built that?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad built that.
Way to go, Mr. Azalona.
Yeah.
Dominic.
Woo! He's gonna love that. So he made the plans up and he built this thing, which fits. How many consoles do I have in there right now? Like 11,
You couldn't
9,
even
a
build
lot
that
of
yourself,
consoles.
man.
Wait, you have 8? I have 11.
11 consoles in there right now, or room for 11. I might have 10.
Whatever, John.
Either way, and it's all lit with LEDs. I'll post a picture of it on
And
the
the colors change. You got about 1,000 color options.
1,000. You could DIY your own colors.
Yeah.
Invent your own colors. It's a magical station
It is
for
pretty
that.
incredible.
So in there I had PS1, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't hooked up.
Yeah, the PS. I didn't have enough output.
Doesn't matter
areas.
though, because you can play at most PS1 games.
So
on
I have
PS3.
it's 10 consoles, so it's hard to hook everything up all at once. So we had to order pieces and order parts. I also didn't realize that I put a lot of my older systems to the left, and I forgot that they don't have wireless controllers for those things. So
Right.
my TV is offset from my
You can't really play those consoles unless
The
you're
unit.
standing in like another room.
right. So we ordered all the extension cables and stuff. I'll post a picture of it on the AwayCast Facebook. This way everybody can look at it. But Greg and I played, like you said, the original Rayman, just to contrast the current Rayman.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It brought some nostalgia back for me.
But it's a terrible game.
We were trying to figure a game to do another way around, but oh man, it was
No,
such
we were
a
going to
nightmare.
do Star Wars
Dark Forces.
That's a great game.
Oh.
I think, Dan, I think I have your copy.
You
It's
bastard.
like a
swear.
fine.
Give me that back.
It's like
I will.
wine.
Stop the podcast.
That game is like wine. It just gets better with time. It just it's
Jedi Knight Outcast, also one of those. Very strong. A lot of good Star Wars games in that
Jedi Knight
franchise.
Outcast is an amazing
Dark
game.
Forces, guys, is horrible. Also, it
do you
is.
mean?
That was back when
It
LucasArts
is
had some reputation.
ghastly.
When they had some
Oh,
clout.
it's a little dreadful, but it's
It is ghastly.
It's like we said for Star Fox, it does not hold the test of time. It's Doom for the PS1. But Star Wars.
Yeah, it'd be
I
better.
actually
It'd be
have-
better with a mouse and keyboard. Honestly, I probably wouldn't mind it as much. But playing with a controller is tough.
Yeah, but you can't. Games like that, you don't even play with a mouse. Remember, Doom didn't have a mouse support.
Yeah, but
Not
you could play with a mouse in Dark Forces. That was a computer game.
Not on the one on
I don't
PS,
think
but
so.
the port for
Yeah,
PS.
it was. I had it for
Really?
the PC. Yeah,
You can actually look up and down.
yeah.
Really?
You can do that on the. You can do that on the PlayStation controller.
Really?
Using the triggers, it lets you aim up and down.
Kind of like Bond style, where
yeah,
you can
and it
like.
was absolutely horrible. But I had that game for PC.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
use the mouse.
Dickens out of that game.
Remember Yoda stories, Dan?
Ooh, no, I think that's been lost to some weed memories that are detrimental to
It
my
was
health.
like a $5 game. I bought it at Electronics Boutique. And
Ooh, ED?
oh man, look up Yoda stories. I don't want to go into it, but it's a good Star Wars game.
Is Electronics Boutique like the one-off store in Smith Haven Mall?
EB Games.
It was EB Games.
Oh,
yeah.
that's okay.
That's what. And what else was it? And wasn't there something else?
Wait, what?
No.
Not EB Games and not Planet Comics. It was something else.
Was Babbage's one?
Babbage's. That's the one.
Babbage's.
Yeah.
Wow, that's another one.
was like-
That's as obscure as Mace.
It was all PC games. Like you'd walk in and there'd be like a 1 foot by 2 foot PC game box. It was
Yeah.
like this big.
Look at me.
Oh god, it was like going into a temple and they were all lit.
Yeah, that's where I bought Shivers. Classic horror game from 1994.
You're the only person in the world
Yeah.
I think that's played that game.
I remember going into
Classic.
Babbage's and buying Warcraft
One.
1.
I bought
original.
the battle chest set, was
Yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
In a Costco?
Mhm.
It was amazing.
Oh yeah, I used to buy games at Costco too.
Costco was the jam.
Yeah, they don't even think they carry games anymore. I think I looked last time they were there. You know.
Do
Oh,
they
that's
have
sad. What a waste.
Do they have a Costco in Chicago?
No, we don't have. Well, I'm sure there's one somewhere, but I've never been to it.
Savage.
No, not in this part. No, none of those stalls.
Not in the area. No. I used to fake sick because the woman who would take care of me, like my mom would bring me to someone's house, and the woman that would take care of me when I was sick had Warcraft 2 on her computer. And so I knew that if I fake sick, it was a day of playing Warcraft 2 is the best.
Warcraft 2. Oh man, that was a good introduction to RTS games for me. I mean, I played 1, but 2 was quintessential.
I'm ready, mister. I'm not ready.
not ready.
Your sound card works perfect.
Oh yeah,
I can see my house from here.
Yeah, I remember most of those, and then obviously, I played that before Command and Conquer, and I played StarCraft at the same time as that.
See, I never got into the StarCraft. I think it just that ship sailed on me.
I was into StarCraft more than I was into Warcraft.
I was more into Warcraft. I played StarCraft just because there were similar games.
I think I was more
Yeah.
into Command and Conquer and Red Alert than I was either of those.
Red
though.
Alert's so good.
It's really sad that we'll never get another Warcraft game in that vein.
You don't think we'll get a Warcraft 4?
No, I don't think so. I think the ship has sailed.
What do
I
you
think
mean,
that's
like
done.
3D real-time strategy? Like what?
Yeah, like real-time strategy. I think real-time strategy will never get another Warcraft game.
I don't know. I guess I'm too hopeful, but I like Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 was a really good game too.
Yeah, where are they going to go? They're just going to do all
Warcraft 3 is
MMO
great.
now? They're going to do all crazy...
Oh yeah, and that's MMO ride till they die.
Hey, if
And they have
anybody's,
the card game too now.
I was just gonna say, if anybody's listening, I would love a beta invite to Hearthstone. I'm not keen with the cool dudes who are getting the beta invites, but I'd like one.
Yeah,
John
give it
will
to
beat
him.
you in a back alley for this beta invite.
Josh,
I'm just saying.
you're probably right.
Mm.
It does look so good though. If any of you guys have watched any gameplay, I love Magic: The Gathering. So
Yeah. It's a
and that
passion.
was I've downloaded Magic 2013 because it's free right now. Don't know if you guys know that it's free on Xbox Live if you gotta get your Magic fix. No,
Is that the one where you can
No.
you can get all the cards, you can make any kind of deck, or is it just like the newest versions that are like currently available for sale?
2013 I haven't gotten too much into. I know that it's a little more robust compared to older Magic games in terms of like deck building. But if you really want it, buy 2014 because you can do a draft. You can do like booster drafts and stuff.
They should make it so that every deck you make has one custom card in it, and you can use your Kinect camera, and you can like make the card,
Make your own card.
like you.
Oh my God.
You know, and you can make all. You know, they give you like a certain amount of attributes you can put to the card.
Or even better, if you could make like your friends as well, and like I could play like the John Azalona card.
Well, you could. I mean, if they let you make one custom card, you can make it anything you want.
That'd be a beast. That'd be
awesome.
That's a rare card, Josh. Don't let that go. It's a legendary. The John Azalona.
I don't know what that means, but I assume you're talking yourself up.
2020 flying trample. Nobody knows what I'm talking
With
about.
the badass monster on the front.
It's like a progenitus.
Trample. Yeah.
Protection from everything.
Does not get affected by summoning sickness.
Nope.
Nice,
Haste.
There you go.
nice.
Haste
That's
is what
got
they
mad
call
haste.
that now.
You know, our good friend, or old friend, Andrew Silver, illustrates Magic cards and other...
He works for Riot Games right now.
Oh, did he switch?
He works for Riot Games in California for League of Legends. He the only Magic work he ever did was I think he worked on some tokens for Innistrad, which was a set that was based on like werewolves and like dark fantasy horror stuff.
You got a little bit of illustration in there?
We talked. I've talked to Andrew not too recently, but through Califano, through Mike, we all talk still.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Yeah, he was just in Australia for whatever con they had down there.
AustraliaCon.
AustraliaCon.
Yeah,
Come on down to Australia.
AussieCon.
AussieCon.
If anybody
Crikey.
needs any illustrations done, at andrewsilver.twitter.forward.au.
MySpace.com.
MySpace.
There's
Foster.
Friendster.
We got a birthday today.
Boo.
Whose birthday's today?
Dreamcast.
Oh, it is 9/9/99.
14 years.
Happy birthday, Dreamcast.
Happy birthday to the Dreamcast.
Sonic
Adventure
Adventure
no
was
more.
good.
Sonic Adventure was the only really great game for that. But then again, it was cool having Crazy Taxi on
And
Dreamcast.
Evolution.
Taxi was fun.
Evolution. Greg, tell us about Evolution.
Evolution is a game set in a trashland dystopia as you play as the ever so incredible Mag Launcher, who is trying to find his friends in time. And he goes through dungeons collecting pots and pans, selling them to the local vendors. 10 out of 10.
Smash hit.
The only 10 out of 10 ever by Greg Delarocca. If you've never seen Evolution, check it out. It's a really cool classic RPG that
I really made half of that up. I don't really remember the game that much, but I did
guy-
have a really good time playing it when I was younger.
Yeah, it was Mag Launcher. You go through dungeons. It reminds you of Final Fantasy.
You're like in like a weird like trash like junkyard kind of place. Though,
I think the
remember.
place you start with your butler guy. Remember him?
Yeah. Oh, the butler character, and then you had like the
girl.
girl. Yeah.
Isn't there a bully? I don't remember.
Nobody tops the Tomb Raider butler.
I
don't know.
No,
The
that's-
ultimate.
that is the ultimate butler.
You would lock him in the freezer.
Try to kill him often.
Try to
Oh,
get
yeah.
Lara's boobs out.
Yeah.
Play PS1 boobs.
Or the
Big
triangles.
You can kill someone with those.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's. So it was 9/9/99, right?
14 years ago.
Yeah, which was
Oops.
14 years ago.
Which is we are fucking old.
Yeah, 14.
I'm not, though. I'm
Yeah,
deaf.
Dan's not.
You
Do you remember
we're all the
when you
same age.
saw Dreamcast graphics and you're like, this is the best it'll ever get? Like,
It's
this
the
is
future.
amazing.
It
Yeah.
was already damned by being a middle generation console, though. It's sad.
If you go back and look at it though, like I've gone back and played Sonic Adventure, and it is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so
No,
bad.
now it's garbage.
It is like everything is like broken. Like Sonic Adventure, you could run through shit and get stuck in walls and like,
We were much more forgiving when we were that
Oh,
age,
yeah.
though. Like when
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
glitch, you just be like, "Oh, just
gotta
reset
restart it."
Oh well, I'll play through that again. I don't mind. My time is not that valuable."
Sometimes they were funny.
and now if a game glitches on me, I turn it off and I literally will like bang my head against a wall and just
Probably not play it for a long time.
Yeah.
In the Dreamcast I hooked up the other day, I actually still had a VMU in one of the controllers, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
didn't work. Yeah,
They never do.
I don't know if I have to change the battery.
They take 17 watch batteries. It's just impossible to get those things up again.
I remember the big games for Dreamcast when it was circulating and friends were psyched about it was Sonic Adventure,
Jet Grind Radio,
Jet Grind Radio. Dan and I had a really
Crazy
good time
Taxi.
with.
Crazy Taxi. I played a lot of that game.
Crazy Taxi.
A lot of Offspring.
and then also Sega Bass Fishing and Zombie Revenge.
Dude, Seaman.
House of the Dead, Seaman,
I'm still developing my Seaman.
Shenmue.
Shenmue. I said that in being stepped over before.
Okay.
I said it like,
Oh, I didn't hear you, Dan. I was too busy stepping on you.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, you were saying much cooler stuff than I ever could, so I understand.
I don't know. I like Shenmue.
Whoa. What is it called?
Shenmue?
Try again.
Shamu. It's called Shamu. You play as an orca.
Isn't it?
No.
You have to eat your trainers.
Would you like
now I'm lost. Now I'm just lost.
Would you
Fuck.
like to play a game of Lucky Hit?
No. What was the-
Right.
Shenmue.
Let's move on from this.
Okay. Arcana of Time, right, Josh?
Arcarana.
He
Whatever.
can't say
Ooh,
You can't say ocarina?
no.
Can't
No,
do
I
it.
always mess it up.
That's his
No.
thing.
That's not my fault because that is from like being 12 years old and not knowing how to pronounce that word.
Yeah, I was also 12 when that came out.
It's
I haven't had a problem yet.
it's a
Well, it was one of those
Chicago
things like me and my
accent.
stepbrother said it back and forth to each other so much that by the time I got to other people who like were gonna say it, then I was just doomed. Other people were already saying it right. I was saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's a super plausible story.
Whistle of Time. But I didn't get to the title I wanted to say, which was Virtua Tennis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was a
Yeah,
big-
I had that. Oh my god, I love virtual tennis.
I almost broke the fucking triggers on my controller playing Virtua Tennis with my friends. That was like the
I
first.
loved that game.
It looked amazing. I had it on a demo. I remember I played a demo over and
my
I think I played it
God.
with you, John.
And the reason, well, that's when we got demos with magazines.
Yeah, PC Gamer and games.
Oh my God,
Wait.
virtual-
What's that one game? Fuck.
Game facts,
Game
tips
Pro.
and
No,
Fix.
Game Pro.
Game Pro
Pro. Are they gone? They're gone.
for a while, yeah.
They're like all dead.
Yeah.
That was wow, what a silly era. Well, that was just, the internet took care of magazines.
So I remember on Virtua Tennis, the VMUs, it used to show, I don't know if it was 1-for-1, but it used to show your little dudes playing tennis on it, going back and forth. I thought that was so cool.
The VMUs.
Well,
Video Music Awards.
let's give a cheers real quick to Dreamcast.
Yay!
Josh came. Sega, we miss you. Greg's doing the Queen song or something.
Yeah, it's the Hail to the Queen.
Is that it?
I think that's what they call it. I don't know.
Everyone knows Dreamcast was a British system.
Yeah.
Well, another. We didn't really go into each other's weekends much. I wanted to talk. I had jury duty today. I wanted to talk about that a little bit.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. It happens, huh?
It was a really weird experience for me today.
Can you talk about it? Can you tell us the case?
Yeah, there's no confidential stuff, I don't think. So on Friday, I come home from work and my parents are there because my dad's helping paint and do the video game unit that he was putting together. We were bringing that in Saturday. Anyway, my mom found a piece of mail addressed to me that I don't know, it got lost somewhere, or maybe I threw it away or threw it somewhere. And it turns out the day that we open the mail is the day I have to call in to see if I have jury duty. So if I would have missed, I would have been like,
Whoa.
I would have been in some trouble. So luck of the draw, we got that. I call and my number got picked the first time.
Wow.
So I go to jury duty today and you get there at 9:00 and there's seas of people. First of all, the line is out the door and around the block because a couple hundred people probably waiting for.
It's just so much fun, the lines around the block.
You know what? I prefer the line because it was a beautiful day today outside. I'd prefer the line rather than going into this miserable, colorless building. So we go into the courtroom. Everyone sits down and people start doing paperwork and stuff. And man, jury duty is like the DMV meets worse things because you're there with everybody, all the denizens of society. Like everybody has to go to jury duty, and you have your mixed bag of people. You have the one person I was telling Greg, there's this one woman there, like, she's telling everyone, everyone's strangers. You can't go there with somebody.
My kids, I have to pick them up from school. Why am I here?
I have to go. I have to tell them I have to go. I have to go. Like she's the only important one there. So
We had nothing to do today. We wanted to be at jury duty. Everyone else wanted to be here today.
Yeah,
We had
all-
no-
You
we
should have
had
told her,
nothing to
John.
do.
You should have told her you had a podcast tonight. You couldn't be there.
Yeah. Sorry. I have some
The
really
podcast in 12 hours!
really important obligations. So you have that lady. You have like a couple of gender non-specific folks who are in the midst of transition. You have people who don't speak a lick of English. And they actually, it's kind of crazy because these people don't speak English, but they're saying, like, if you have a problem with serving or you don't speak English, please come bring your papers up. Or if you're wearing shorts, like you can't be present in court with shorts on, some other little stipulations.
Also,
But
just wear shorts if you want to get jury duty.
they make you come back in 6 months.
Yeah, whatever. Wear shorts again.
Just fake your own death in that 6 months. That's enough time.
But it's funny because they don't say if you don't speak English, in their native languages. They go, if you don't speak English, come. So they sit through the whole process. So anyway, after the seas and seas of people, of all these random mixed bag, like, oh man, it's such an eye opener. Anyway, they called my name. They called 40 people first. Out of like hundreds and hundreds of people, they called 40 people. I was within the first 10 people called. I was like, oh, great. Here we go. So we get in line and we go over to the criminal court already. Before you know it, like I'm in a courtroom waiting, like this guy is being tried for selling drugs. And I'm sitting in a courtroom with like 16 other jurors. I got picked at jury seat number 1. I'm sitting in a trial. And I'm just like, how did I get here? What happened? It doesn't feel like a typical Monday today.
Oh, so you're actually on the jury. You are on the jury.
I was juror number 1.
Yeah, that's really.
How did you not like?
Actually.
Didn't you lie? Didn't you get this fucked up? Didn't you be like, oh man, do I fucking hate drugs? I would convict anyone instantly with drugs.
Okay, so this is what they do now. It's not like they go into this room of 600 people and ask people individually, like, are you racist? Do you hate drugs? Do you have a bias? You get into the courtroom and there's the judge, who's a very like well-spoken, astute man who it's like when he talks, it's like poetry. It's so great. The legal jargon that comes out of his mouth, it's like so good. Anyway, then you have the prosecution, the accused, and the defense, and a couple of court cops, and whatever.
Court cops?
What do you call them?
The bailiffs?
Bailiffs.
Bailiffs? Okay. Yeah. A couple of those folks around, and then they get you on the jury, and then they ask you individually. They ask you about your background, and then they ask you, like, do you have any... They go through a whole rigmarole of questions. The first one being, like, do you have any ailments that will prevent you from serving for, like, up to a week and a half? Do you have, any preconceived ideas that would prevent you from giving this guy a fair trial? Blah, blah. And they finally get to a point where they ask if any of your family has been law enforcement. And obviously I said... My father and uncle were police officers in New York City. So that's fine. And they go through all these people. And dude, you wouldn't believe the people that come up with these excuses. There's people out in the people that of the 40 that got selected out in the hallway that they're speaking perfect English. And we're all talking. We get into the jury room and all of a sudden they forgot English. And the judge is like, do you have any problems that will prevent you from giving this man a fair trial, whatever? And they're like, like playing so stupid, just trying to get out of jury duty, trying to talk like they'd never spoken English. They got judges like, do you have a job? And it's really hard. I was telling Kate, it's really hard to watch these people, like the prosecution and the judge, etc., ad nauseum, to ask very eloquently put and intelligent questions to people who are absolutely dumb, with some people without an education whatsoever. It's so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
But doesn't it make you feel so good about yourself? Wasn't that worth going? Wasn't this whole experience worth it? Because you actually got to feel so good because these dumb people couldn't answer these questions that the incredibly elegant judge was asking them.
Do I sound like I'm trying to do that? Or are you just...
No.
Oh, I thought I was
Didn't you feel extremely validated that day?
I mean, maybe if you feel that way. Maybe.
No, I didn't mean it like that, but...
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
it's also nice that, like, in that situation... so many people can take that low road. Like, come on, the reason why you are there is to, like, provide this public service that you would hope someone would do for you if you were having to go to trial.
Right.
Like, it's good that you didn't fake your way out of it. Like,
I hope when I go to trial, everybody in America is too stupid to stand juror and just get away.
Hundreds of potential jurors would be like, they're all too dumb. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
For people who've never served jury duty before, for me being one of them, I was in college both times that I got asked to go, so I got out of it. But it was a really, it was a cool experience. I had a better day than I would have at work, probably. It was a beautiful day. I got to eat out on the lawn. That's after... Anyway, I got dismissed because after the prosecution and the defense talked with the judge in the back room, they get to obviously play NFL draft with me and all the other folks, and they dismissed like 16 of the people. They had to bring in more people. It was like a 3-hour process just to get people seated in the jury. And they weren't even done by the time I left.
Yeah, it's amazing anything gets done in the world of law.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It is. I recommend anybody that tries to get out of jury duty to do it at least once. It was a cool experience.
And I'm due as fuck
Yeah.
I'm 27 and I've never gotten a request.
It's only 4 years in Queens.
What's that mean?
It's like you only get like I got my papers today and I'm good for 4 years. And excuse me, out on Long Island, it's 6 years. And other places, Josh, do you know how many years it is in Chicago?
I've never been called for jury duty. I have no idea what those limitations are.
But yeah, it's only 4 years. So in 4 years, I'm gonna have to go again.
That's cool.
But it was interesting. I mean, parts of it sucked, but being all alone there and just it's almost like sitting at an airport and being completely observational. Like you're just getting an inside look at like other people's lives,
stupid people,
and their demeanor. Gregg is just beating down all the people.
You're just looking at the stupid people, and you're going, "Oh wow, it's not as bad as I thought. My life's not as bad as I thought it was."
I imagine they frown upon you playing a Vita or 3DS while you're there.
I brought when I first got there, when you first get to the main, it's called Central Jury.
Central Retardville.
you get there and like everyone's doing paperwork, and I brought my Vita, my 3DS, and I played Animal Crossing for a little while. But
you told them it was a book when you came in, like, oh, okay, fine, we don't know, we're fucking retarded
we're the
here.
e-readers, okay.
I felt like a douche though, because when you go in, you have to do your metal go through the metal detector. And I had my Vita and my iPad with me, so the guy was like, "All right, just put your keys and your cell phone in here," and I was like, hang on.
It's like you're going through the airport. Like,
yeah. I was like, hang on a second.
My laptop, my PDA, my Kindle, iPhone, iPad, and 6 pairs of headphones for each. Just give me a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you could use it
like,
as your excuse. Like, excuse me, Mr. Judge, if that's your real name.
I know all about this technology.
I have ADHD, I'll have you know, and I can't look at a trial without playing a PS4 game.
That's what you should have said to the lady. You should have said, like, hey, look at this iPad. I'm clearly important. Fuck your kids.
So, see any of these people with iPads in here? No.
No.
Shits.
They don't let you use your cell phone.
Nope.
They don't let you use your cell phone in Central or, anywhere in the courts.
Well, how are you going to Google the testimony or just make sure the defendant knows what he's talking about?
Tweet like, ha, this motherfucker.
Or just, I've got new evidence.
Hashtag dumb lawyer.
Idiocracy.
Hashtag hung jury.
Talking about dicks.
Oh.
All right.
Dan went with the hung way.
What did you think?
I said hung. I actually meant like hung jury because...
No,
all right.
Just mean everybody has big dicks.
Dan, how was your weekend festival? You weren't with us last week.
Yeah, no, I wasn't around that one. Nothing spectacular. I played a lot of video games. I played Smash Brothers. I have a new roommate, and we.
Which one? Which Smash?
Melee.
Nice.
Brawl. Wii. The one for goddamned Wii.
Damned.
And we played Mario Kart and Bonded. It's what you do.
Yeah, that's good times.
Mm-hmm. Saturday's a lot. I don't think I was.
Yeah.
Sober or something. Saturday's gone. It's not my memory
It was a
anymore.
wash.
Yeah, it was a total wash. Sunday though was a nice day.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Sunday. I got really high and I played MirrorMoon EP.
Oh yeah.
I played MirrorMoon as well,
and that made no sense to me at all. It was literally the worst idea. It was don't do that. Just play it sober.
Gregg, tell us about MirrorMoon and your experience with it.
Okay, I can't. I smoked a joint. I came inside and I started to play Counter-Strike. I was just gonna unwind before breaking bed, and I was like, you know what? John was telling me about this game and said it's really trippy. This is probably perfect time for me to play it.
Did I lie though?
No. So I load up MirrorMoon EP, and this game tells you nothing about this game. This game just says, fuck you.
But a lot
come
of games...
in here and figure out the controllers are a fucking pain in the ass. Nothing looks normal. You don't know what's happening here. Fuck you. Go in there and fuck you. Do it, try to do this. And Gregg, try to do it high, they said to me. They said, Gregg.
Who's they?
The fucking game.
The game was
game
like...
people. The people inside the game.
Fucking game people, bro. So
just sitting in the computer laughing at you.
So I get in the game. You start out on this cockpit. Like you're in this cockpit and... Like the first thing is you have to turn the lights on, and if you want, you got to turn the music on and the sound on. They're like, let's just make this as ridiculously intricate as possible. You got to find your position on the map. You have to flip the floppy disk over and find your coordinates and turn all the buttons on. And then out of nowhere, you're on this planet, okay? And you have to find these pieces to your gun. They don't tell you that. You just walk around and you figure that out. That's something you figure out from walking around.
But let me interrupt, because a lot of games do that nowadays. A lot of games throw you into a
not like this. This is ridiculous. Okay,
right.
So you're walking around, you're picking up your stuff for your weapon, your gun thing, and then the first thing you realize is how not horrible. I really haven't played enough to say it's horrible. Just the way it is. I'm not trying to be ignorant about this game here, but the controllers suck. Okay, sorry, they suck. Like you can't really move. You can only move with the mouse when you connect with the mirrored moon, and like
there is no like free look with your mouse. You can't look around with your mouse.
Ass.
So one thing I think that I like about that when I played it was that it takes when you jump into this planet from this cockpit, you are given a first-person look on this planet, and you have pieces of a gun already, right? Don't you have a little piece?
You have like a piece. And
so immediately you think like, oh, okay, this looks kind of like Portal. Maybe I'll look around. You can't look around at all. And I kind of like when games fuck you up like that. Like, oh, you think you know what you're doing here? You have absolutely no idea. This is the true story of
MirrorMoon. So the music, the sound, it's really cool. It's fun, cool. But pretty much what you have to do is you have to like look up at this moon and you use your gun. It's like a tracer gun to like figure out where you got to find the locations on the moon. I honestly don't know enough about it to tell you what it's about. It's a fucking headache is what it is.
It's
MirrorMoon
definitely
is a fucking headache.
It's a serious puzzle game.
It's not even serious. It's stupid.
Bro, it's fucking like it's serious. It starts you with zero knowledge of it.
Take those $8 and go buy some cheeseburgers.
You heard it.
Get a lot more replay value.
Yeah.
John, when you texted me about this game, were you of an altered state of mind, or were you just really happy?
No, I was not. I don't know if I was very happy either. But
you sent me text messages that I was like, I don't know if John's drunk or high or what's going on.
Okay, so the reason that I think I liked MirrorMoon, I mean, I agree with Gregg on most of what he said because it's definitely.
I'm being a little closed-minded here. But I'm in a negative mood right now, so
I haven't played it, but
you're going to get some
fuck this
negativity
game.
from me today.
It's definitely they give you nothing to start with, and part of me hated that the same way Gregg did. But when I figured out the puzzles, it was that much more gratifying.
Because even figuring out the puzzles, I feel like I'm not gratified at all because I still don't know what the fuck is happening. Like I'm like, oh, okay. It's like you got this. You're 15%. I don't even know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing.
All right, keep in mind, folks, that this was a Steam greenlit game.
I'm not accomplished. I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not feeling what they should do. What they should have done is just make something a little easier to start out with. Something that a little bit easier.
Right.
You know?
Like a tutorial for the dumb.
Yeah, something that you can bring the jury duty and get everyone on board.
All right, everyone, gather around. I know you can't speak English, but here's a puzzle game.
Well, it doesn't matter. This is no language in this game.
There isn't.
Why is it called MirrorMoon
Because
EP?
it's the EP.
Is it the LP? Is there a demo
EP
tape?
stands for extended product, I believe. Because there was a shorter version that came out, and now that it came out full on Steam.
Oh, actually,
Wait a second.
normally
EP is smaller.
Normally, the EP is the smaller version of the game.
but in this case, it's extended
like,
product.
You know that like 100 years of standard practice with EP means? Let's throw that all away.
That's perfect for this game. This game just says fuck everything.
Fuck all that.
Fuck you. They say MirrorMoon EP says literally fuck the consumer.
Yeah.
Fuck you. We don't care about you. We fucking hate you.
I like that.
It says that right when you start the
No,
game.
it's-
And
it's
open
what
the
it
credits.
Just get high first.
Yeah.
Right next to where it
Yeah.
says get high.
Sends a letter bomb to your mom when you start it up. Fuck you, playing our game, you asshole.
The reason it's called MirrorMoon is because with your gun, the only thing you can control is a moon in the distance that is direct reference to the planet that you're on or the moon that you're on. So you're controlling it in the distance, but you're also on it.
You get it, MirrorMoon?
Oh, it's just like Counter-Strike. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. You press B, you buy your
Literally, they
loadout.
took the formula from League of Legends and they just copy and pasted it.
If you've ever played Call of Duty, you'll be right at home with MirrorMoon EP.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. All the big COD fans out there, pick up MirrorMoon EP. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, especially if you're less than 8 or 9 years old.
Oh yeah.
Josh, you did another way around Outlast.
I did.
And I think a few people watched it, right? It was I watched it and I loved it.
I watched it.
I bought the game after I watched
right there.
it. Yeah. So
I laughed.
So Outlast. Well, actually, go ahead, Josh. Tell us a little bit about Outlast.
I feel actually bad because the best moment where that game scared me isn't in the another way around. Outlast is a first-person horror game, and you have no weapons. You basically just got to run from the bad guys. You are an investigative journalist in this, I'm going to say loony bin, but that's a sane asylum.
Whoa.
And
At the jury duty courts. No.
strike from the record. Come on. I bet the judge said this more eloquently.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so you're in an insane asylum where they are doing testing on World War II veterans. And yeah, and then when you are told to leave, you do the thing that everyone does in horror movies and you go deeper in. And it is scary as hell. And what I wish could have been on the another way around that I did was that the first jump scare, and I guess if you hate spoilers, skip ahead 2 minutes, because I'm going to tell you about this. The first jump scare is you're opening this door and a body just drops from the ceiling. And literally, I was playing with my headphones on because my roommate was watching TV and I didn't want to distract anyone. So I'm playing with my headphones on. This scare happens. I jump out of my seat and go, whoa, and take out my headphones, set them on the ground, and I go, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I unplug my headphones.
You're such a baby. You
I
are
can't help
such a
it.
goddamn baby.
I'm sorry. When it gets to those games, I just can't help
Josh,
it.
I thought the same thing, and then I went ahead and we were all making fun of you. And when I posted the another way around, I wrote watch this guy piss his pants, and I thought it was all in good fun. And then I played the game as well,
It's so scary.
I streamed it on Twitch, and I had only had a couple of my friends watching me, but they were laughing hysterical because I was running, I was moving, contorting my body. I was when I almost got caught at this part where you're supposed to turn something on, and this guy comes out of nowhere, and you see him in the night vision only. The mechanic in this game is that you have a video camera and you have to document what you see because you're a journalist, and the power goes out. There are certain areas where there is power out, and you need to use the night vision in the camera to see certain areas.
Very much like Amnesia with its tinderboxes and lamps and things like that.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you, if you were this guy, wouldn't you? I'm past the stuff I said earlier about why it's stupid that he's in this place to begin with. I won't get into that. I get it. It's a game. I'm not gonna, But wouldn't you just find something sharp, like a paper cutter or something, just and defend yourself a little bit?
Right.
And so let's I just want to preface before I get into my my negative comments that the game is amazingly atmospheric. It's super good at creating tension. Its art style is amazing, and so all that stuff is really, really good. Obviously, it's really scary. But it's some of my complaints about the game is that exactly Greg, when you are facing these guys, I wish that I had some sort of move, even if it was just a shove, right? Because
or you find maybe the wooden leg of a table or something on the ground. And you just can use it to hit them.
Condemned. You ever play Condemned?
Yeah, just anything.
Well, I understand that the core element of the game is just the fact that you have nothing to defend yourself. But I like your idea, Josh, of maybe just an avoid move or a dodge or a shove.
Exactly, and it just feels really dumb when you for instance, in the video I did, there's a part where I run into a locker and I immediately realize, oh, this guy saw me run into the locker, so he's gonna obviously come right up to me. I should at least be able to shove the locker open and knock him over, or dodge out of the way or something like that. It doesn't feel like you have any counter once you get cornered.
Right. You should at least have the basic horror movie attacks.
You're a human being. You should be able to punch and kick.
Right.
I like how our standards have come up on this, though. Like in Resident Evil, you would be locked out of a screen door, but holding a rocket launcher. And you're like, I just can't get around it. That was okay back then.
Right.
Now we have standards. Give me a push. Come on. It's 2013.
I also feel in general the controls are a little bit sticky, just maybe just hard to maneuver. And as I said, I'm not very good with a mouse and keyboard. I said that in the video, but I still felt even if you were pretty versed in mouse and keyboard, there's some stuff that's just kind of hard to reach to, like crouch buttons, and I thought that look over your shoulder maneuver was a little bit difficult. No, you agree, disagree, John?
No, I think that comes with time playing PC games.
Okay.
I don't find it too tough. The crouch is a little wonky. They haven't described an exact utilization of it. They haven't said that makes you make less noise, or the only time I've ever used crouch was to sneak under something one time.
Yeah.
I haven't really used crouch any other way. I think the controls feel good. They feel heavy, which is good in a game like this, I think.
Yeah, and the flip side of that argument is it's the classic Resident Evil controls where they're maybe they might have been purposely bad, but the fact they're bad makes that game all the scarier, right?
Right, because once you mess up any mechanical error, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
But the game deals with some pretty heavy imagery as you get a little further on. I think I'm past where Josh is. And you start dealing with really grotesque
Necrophilia?
Yeah, you deal with necrophilia. You deal with cannibal. I think some aspects of cannibalism.
Yeah.
Things start to get visually really... I haven't played it at night yet.
Oh.
I've only played it during the day, which did not take away from anything. Well, it may have, but you know what? I'm fine by it. It does utilize cheap jump scares here and there, but like Josh said, it's very atmospheric. So the jump scares are the climaxes, and the atmosphere is definitely builds tension on its own. So I wouldn't say that the jump scares are necessarily cheap or trite, but I think that
they do, and to their credit, they do some of that where, like, because they've done a couple jump scares in a row, they will make you think one is coming and one doesn't come, or at least doesn't come when you expect it to.
So at least they play with you like that a little bit. Josh, you mentioned in the Another Way Around that the literature in the game, the writing, was kind of boring or droll.
Dry, yeah.
It was, to me, it was, but some of it... Actually, you know what? The stuff that you find, the documents that you find, yes. But the main character, well, I forgot his name, but the main character's first-person accounts... so when you video record stuff, the whole purpose of having your video camera is so you find out pretty much the internal monologue of the main character. So if you catch something, it'll show in the bottom right, it'll show an icon of you're capturing a moment that the character is going to explain further, and you go into your documents and he writes his firsthand account of what he's seen, and that writing is really true to life, I think.
And that's the more interesting stuff to read for sure.
Absolutely. Well, you're getting insight. It's rather because the medical and legal documents, they are pretty medical and legal documenty.
Yeah.
Like they're very
legalese and medical jargon.
Yeah, it's not interesting to read. I'll just say.
Well, and like I said, it adds to the immersion of it. You know, like it'd be really dumb if you pick up this doctor's note and he's like, "This guy looks like he's pretty crazy. You know, his mom beat him when he was young," and you're
right.
like, "Wow, a doctor wrote that." Clearly,
is it important to read this stuff? Like, is there a story?
It's all for atmosphere.
Doesn't matter really. You just try and get out.
Yeah,
so.
I think maybe as you go on, it might add something like nothing you couldn't find on a Reddit forum. I'm sure.
I think it's just typical like. Get to the bottom of this. What's going on here?
This is not a full price game.
But aren't
$20.
Aren't you not trying to get to the bottom of it? You're just trying to get the fuck out.
You're trying to escape now as the character, but as the player, you still kind of want to know what went wrong because.
So wait, this is a $20 game.
$20.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, compared to what we're going to get into in a second, I guess.
Are you guys are any three of you super super horror nuts? Like you love scary movies?
No. Scary movie. Well, it depends.
I like scary games more than I like scary movies.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because scary movies don't scare me anymore.
Yeah.
It's very,
you watch
very
them and you just
few
like
movies.
bullshit or you're just looking for problems.
It's tough with like us hyper analytical people watching a scary movie. It's almost transparent most of the time.
The horror genre, I'm a film buff. That's my thing. I like fine cinema, and horror film the genre is abysmal. There's like you can count on two hands the horror films that matter in history, and like Stanley Kubrick has two of them.
Right.
But I would love to give this to someone who is like super into it, who loves to be scared, those types of like thrill-seeking people. And I'd love to give them this game and see what they think, just to see if their thoughts are anyway comparable to ours.
I enjoy the I guess the thrill.
I do too. And as Greg made a good point, because it's like the gaming is such a better medium for horror because the interactivity and you have to force yourself to move forward at all.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
The atmosphere is way more thrilling.
Like the movie's gonna just guide you along, but when you're like getting to a point and you hear something like around the corner, like you have to make the move to go past it, and it's scary.
Or you can watch a movie through your fingers, right? You know, you can look away if something's really too gory.
Right, yeah.
In a game, you have to watch. You have to pay attention.
Right. Yeah. Like I remember when which Resident Evil was it with that guy? He was like Mr. Something. He was
X. You talking about Resident Evil?
Yeah, he would
Zero.
He would like randomly bust through the wall.
Yeah.
So you'd be
are
like,
you talking about Nemesis?
No.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
I think I'm talking about Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Nemesis.
Yeah,
That's the Nemesis.
Yeah, and literally you'll be because you'll be walking in an area in the game and it'll be dead quiet. It'll be great. You'll be like, oh, thank God, no zombie, nothing to worry about. But then you're like, oh wait, Nemesis might just jump out of this wall. So the whole time, like there's never like you never feel safe in that game. Like you never feel like you're always walking down a hole, because when he does bust out of the wall, it is always scary every time. It is dogs through the windows every single time. It is just like the scariest shit ever, because it's just like boom, music comes on. You can't just kill them. You know, it's
the same feeling I got playing that with Nemesis or the Tyrant or whatever chasing you.
Yeah.
Was the same feeling I got playing Outlast when I got into the basement and this guy was chasing me without any hesitance. Nothing. Like I was moved over to the right, kind of out of the way of my screen. Like you guys can see me now. I was like this. I was like totally, my body was frozen. And it's funny because you look at that as an outsider, if you guys haven't played it, or it totally takes over. Even if you're scared or not, you're like, no, run, no, please.
How deep into that game are you right now?
I'm like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours.
How long is the game? Do you?
I'm
know?
not quite sure. Josh, do you know the length of the game? I know
It's about 7 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, fuck.
It's a fair amount of gameplay.
Yeah,
That is for $20. That's definitely worth it.
Yeah,
it's completely worth it.
And it's not only is it jump scary and atmospheric, it's also psychologically. It's not quite Amnesia, but the atmosphere itself creates this tension where I'm seeing things out of the corner of my eye, and I'm not sure if it's the game playing with me or if it's me playing with me.
They should
Especially when you're in night vision. Like night vision really fucks with you, where you're just like any little like blip of like blue or green, you just kind of go like, oh, what's that?
Yeah,
They should make it so like at the end, once you get to the end of the game and you beat it, you get to watch all of the footage you took as a movie.
That'd be great.
That'd be very cool.
And what would be cool about that is it would give the game some replay value.
Right.
And it would also, it almost seems like because you were saying before that you watched the quick look where the guy in the wheelchair didn't jump up when he walked past him the second time. So maybe there is, really it doesn't matter because it's going to be like the same kind of experience every time. But the fact that it does change a little bit makes it,
right.
You know,
that would be interesting. I like the fact that, they should make it mandatory that you have a webcam and you record your scares. Because I think that's like just watching. That's why I was showing them before. I was probably enjoying watching it more than they were because I was watching myself and the facial expressions I was making, unaware of the camera after a while because I was so immersed in the game. You look at yourself, you're like, oh my God, like I was really scared. I really was scared.
Yeah,
so,
no, it's real as fuck.
So
very visceral.
This week I'm going to Amnesia Machine for Pigs actually comes out tonight, tomorrow. When this posts, it'll be today. So I'm probably going to try to do a solo Another Way Around tomorrow with that game.
I think I'll do one of those. That's great.
You should, yeah. If you want to do it, well, I don't know if you have capture.
No, yeah,
stuff.
I have. To capture, I could finagle that.
No, I can. It's like a pretty cheap program I can hook you up with.
Yeah.
But I might do that as well. Maybe Dan and I post our parallel reactions to it. That'd be kind of funny. Maybe make
While we're talking about it,
this game's dumb.
Doesn't it feel like this is just poor planning on those two companies to release games that are not obviously the exact same, but very, very similar in their like type of gameplay? Like within a week of each other?
There's something a little... I think Outlast has the one up on it right now because it's cool going from playing Saints Row and Rayman and all these games to being like, okay, I have to muscle up and I have to play this horror game right now and get into this mode where I'm ready to experience a horror game. Now that I've been playing Outlast for a couple hours, going into Amnesia is probably going to be a little softer.
You're the minority, though. I think Amnesia's name recognition is going to be how most people...
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Release.
That's true. Amnesia also, like, the problem with Amnesia, though, is that they've done this thing where they said it was coming out in the summer. And, like, not that there's been any sort of, like, noted reason why it's been delayed, but it has just been, like, oddly silent until now when they're like, oh, by the way, it's out.
Game delays are okay, though. A couple of months, it's just like, you're going to be that much better playing it. It's going to be that much better of an experience. Like 3 months on a game, it's like they probably took forever to make that freaking thing. So
I think I have to play Amnesia on my Mac because
it works.
It does, but it does not work with Windows XP, and that's what I have on my boot camp. You need to it's Vista and higher.
Yeah, everything's starting to drop XP. You gotta get up to speed.
Yeah, but I think that's lame. I think they should just stay with XP, System Pack 4 or whatever. I think
it's not the way technology works. They don't
that's
care.
Bullshit.
They're leaving you behind.
You're backing the wrong dog in this fight, John.
Yeah.
I know, but it's frustrating because now I have to get my capture software over to my Mac. It's annoying.
You'll do it, man.
I will.
You're gonna be all right.
I will.
Oh, how about Dreadhalls? Did anybody look at Dreadhalls footage?
No.
That is an Oculus Rift Amnesia clone.
Oh, I think is it the space one?
No, it's stone brick walls and narrow hallways and noises that make you insane.
Well, Josh talked about the Oculus Rift last week playing Slender on it, and it made
same thing.
It made me never want to put on the Oculus Rift and play a horror game.
Yeah, that's like a legitimate health risk where that's going to come up. It's going to be like a big, triangle with an exclamation point printed on the Oculus Rift. Do not touch this if you have a heart condition.
Right. Be careful. Slender Man will grab you, shake you. He'll cry like a little girl.
Oh, Slender Man.
Yeah. Was it good? Was Slender on the Oculus Rift a good time, Josh?
Yeah, it was great. It was really, really super atmospheric, very immersive.
Did you play the, limited release, whatever, the tiny PC game that came out, the Slender one?
No, I didn't like this. That was my first experience with Slender.
Oh, right. So it's the same game, just ported into the Oculus Rift mainframe.
Slender the Arrival ported over, yeah. So it's a few more levels and stuff like that.
Oh, a few more levels? It's
a little more robust than the one you're thinking.
Exactly,
are updated.
Yeah, that first one was okay. I mean, but once you got caught 3 times, you're like, you got the entire experience of the game.
And the fact that it was a standalone executable was awkward, like it didn't run on Steam or anything.
Well, yeah, those guys were clearly just, trying their
something.
hand at something, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Also, Josh, you wrote a review. Gregg and I did a quick play. We're going to change gears in a major way right now from horror to the happiest game I've ever played, which it's really up there for close to my game of year. It's not going to probably trump BioShock, but it's up there. Rayman Legends. Josh, you wrote a review for it, and Gregg and I did another way around of it, and we had a really good time. The soccer Kung Foot.
That's amazing. That minigame's so amazing.
Did you end up playing it with your roommate?
Yeah, actually. So, and you guys might remember that I was like sitting there. I'm like, I'm going to try and get Ty to play with me. He was a pretty easy get. He came over pretty easily. But then the following morning, because we stayed up till 2 a.m. playing through it. The following morning, my other roommate, Ashley, saw us playing. And she was like, oh, this game looks like fun. I want to play. And so the 3 of us sat there and played it for probably from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. And that game's awesome. And it's one of those experiences where it's super fun to play by yourself, but it's even more fun when you share it with people.
Yeah, I've played it with Kate, I've played it with my buddy Sean, and I've played it with Gregg. And every time it's great. It's fantastic. I mean, you played using the gamepad too with Murphy.
Yeah, the B button just controls Murphy when you're doing the Xbox or PS.
Yeah, how does that work? Can you explain how it works?
He'll just go to whatever thing is supposed to be moved, and you just press B and he'll move it. So it makes it a little bit more tricky because it's just one more button you have to push. If you're doing a combo or something like that to try and get through something. But I mean, it's super effective. It's kind of the best way they could do that. I still agree. I think the Wii U has the definitive experience. Due to their gamepad.
So at the end of every level, I don't think I could play it after playing it on Wii U. I don't think I could play it on the 360 or any other version, maybe the Vita. But after each level, you get a golden ticket to win something. How does that work with the?
And I've got a golden ticket.
Oh, you get scratch offs.
Yeah, you get the golden ticket, and then how do you scratch it on the Xbox version?
You just move the dual analog sticks.
Oh, God, that seems so lame. Sorry.
Wait, you get a ticket? You literally scratch it off with the joysticks?
Yeah, with the joysticks.
Yeah, you just move the joysticks
They should sell
around.
a $200 peripheral with a little iPad surface so you can scratch it yourself.
Only for scratching tickets. That's it. It doesn't work for anything else on the Xbox.
The height of gaming.
Rayman ticket scratcher. That's it. But how far did you play through?
We beat it. We didn't get that Undead World or whatever that is, where you need the 400
Lums.
what are they called?
Lums.
Yeah, the guys you rescue. You need 400 of them to get the last world. We didn't get that, but we finished all the main levels.
I tried 100% all those levels because I'm wacky in the head. But the musical, like we talked about Rayman last week, but I hadn't gotten up to the musical levels yet.
They're so good.
Oh my God. I have never played anything in a platformer quite like these levels.
Did you do the I've done Eye of the Tiger kazoo cover?
No, I've only done 2 of them so far. I've done Black Betty. And
Black Betty's awesome.
Black Betty's so good. And the orchestral one in the green guy's zone, or frog place, whatever that is.
As I introduced Ty and Ashley to the game, I would always do one super early level just to kind of get them acquainted, and then I'd do a mid-range level to get them more acquainted, and then I would do a music level immediately after that. Because after you play a music level, you're in love with that game. There's no way you can't love it.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it, and then I played one of those levels, and by the end I was smiling ear to ear because even the finale of the level has some flourish to it, and you're like, oh my God, like. It brought together all the best parts of like DDR, Guitar Hero, and platforming, and just God, it's such a good culmination of games. You have even if your friend has this game, go to their house and play this at least one music level, and you'll be smiling. And then play them in soccer, right, Greg?
Play soccer, it's good.
Thanks, Greg.
Tremendous.
You heard it from Greg. Rayman.
Best part of that game is the
soccer game, right?
Yeah.
All right. Dan, you gotta come hang out and play.
I'm gonna stick with the PS1 Rayman, but thanks.
Yeah, Greg and I tried to play PS1 Rayman.
Yeah, don't play that ever.
Well,
it's so slow and weird feel. It's very hard too. Yeah. Unforgiving.
It's just so hard to jump and grab on at things. It's just impossible.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff had not been worked out at that time. It was just like, oh, this is a really pretty game for PlayStation 1. And back then it was, but it's so funny how much of a mess it is. We just wanted to put it in for contrast because of how good this one is. We were like, it would be funny if we did that.
It's amazing that game is still a franchise, that it made it this far.
It went through a rough period.
Yeah, it had its troubles. It has troubles. And then Origins came out and was like, whew. But the Raving Rabbids thing went well with the kids. I think it's ridiculously dumb.
I own that game and I'm still mad about it.
For the Wii?
Yeah.
I've never even played it, but
for me, that felt like that was Rayman at his lowest. Like, it's like, hey, we'll make this game and just fucking shit it out for kids. That's when it was really on the brink there.
They're making a TV show.
Well, it's about damn time.
They're making a TV show based on Raving Rabbids.
Oh, not even. So Rayman's going to make some cameos? He's not the head honcho?
I think they've completely separated their entities. Same world, completely different.
It's like their version of Angry Birds or something.
You're exactly right. It's just something appealing for kids.
Have you ever seen all the memorabilia that is in Finland because of Angry
Birds?
Yeah, they have. It's like Angry Bird pencils, iPhone cases,
is it like a landfill?
Donuts. They have a amusement park, like an Angry Birds amusement park.
What is it?
With like rides and the whole 9 yards.
Is it like a cheap amusement park, or is it like Disney World?
No, of course it's not Disney World.
Well,
I mean, it's like Florida is a quarter of the size of Florida, I think.
Finland.
It was probably something maybe akin to like Legoland.
Yeah, probably something like that. But it's costs millions and millions of dollars.
Oh my God.
They have like an Angry Birds based economy now. That guy is the greatest thing that happened in Finland, whoever his name is, that ripped off Castle Crashers and put Angry Birds in it instead.
Oh my God. Oh, what was that one game? It wasn't Castle Crashers. Oh, wait. What do you mean Castle Crashers?
No, did I say Castle Crashers?
I think you mean like that game with the trebuchet that like flings the...
Dude, we played it on like Flash websites on Newgrounds in 1996.
Yeah.
That game is really, really old. They just put new models on it and made it very exciting. I mean, it's brilliant, I guess. It made a fortune and still continues to.
A great business mind there.
Yeah, clearly.
So play Rayman. If you like platformers, you really, really owe it to yourself. There's plenty of unlockable characters. The daily challenges are awesome.
Unlockable characters to do.
Right now, my Rayman is Rayman wearing a Super Mario costume.
Oh, costumes! Can you play? It's cooperative, the 2-player.
Yeah,
you're on screen side scroller.
You can play
classic.
up to 6 or 8 players, I think.
What, like online or
no local?
How does that work?
Somebody's on the gamepad, and then you have Wiimotes and all various crap.
Is it?
It's 6. It's 6 players.
Oh, okay. It's on all the major consoles, right?
Right. Initially, it was supposed to just be the Wii U, but obviously they wanted to. It's such a great game, they wanted to sell it to more people.
So it very much seems like a Nintendo game, but it's funny that it started with Sony.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but
it looks Super Nintendo. Well, it always kind of has.
Well, that was also the time when Sony was like, hey, we need this library. Let's get platformers. Let's get shooters.
That was like a launch title, wasn't it?
For
PS1.
Like I said, it was one of the first games. I think it was one of 3 games that I owned when I first got my PS1.
I had my first. I got Doom and PO'd. Who knows PO'd?
I remember PO'd. It was like the guy with the frying pan.
Yeah, you're a chef in an alien spaceship. No, in your own spaceship that gets taken over by aliens, and you got to kill everybody with like a butcher's knife. Dude, that game is fucking cool. That's a forgotten gem.
Dan, you know what game I came across putting together all of my old stuff?
What's that?
Skull Monkeys.
Oh, yeah. We'll do a whole review on Skull Monkeys.
Well, when the next... Yeah, we should play that again.
That's such a great
game. If you still have the Neverhood, we should do that as well.
What's the Neverhood?
That's the universe that it's based on. It was the first game.
No, yeah, I know. Oh, that's the game. The first one was called Neverhood.
Neverhood was the first game, and then it went to Skull Monkeys.
You're right. I don't have the Neverhood, but I'm familiar with it.
We should get it. And then, I saw... Oh, man. We can't get into this. We'll have a day where we play through all that crap. Okay. But actually, Gregg, he's been quiet for a while, but Gregg finally played Gone Home. Right, Gregg?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Oh, Gregg.
What do you have to say about it? It's a good game. Move on.
It was all right.
It's a game.
No, it was. I have some gripes.
Does it have buttons? Do you input commands through the buttons in a device?
Yes, that's right.
So you have your problems, but as a whole, put it in a nice, neat little package for us.
It's fine.
Okay, good. Next, we have...
No, I'm saying that it's not a big deal. It's fine. I'm just being honest. I think that it's overpriced, and I think that the story could have been much better if the ending wasn't so lame.
Wait, 2 steps back. I don't know anything about this game. Tell me what it is.
Okay. So, there's a girl named Katie, and you're coming home from a trip from Europe, and you come home and nobody's there. Okay, pretty much. You told your parents you're coming home, but you're going to get your own ride back to the house. You get back to the house, and nobody's there. Okay, it's a new house that you just moved into. It's like a mansion in the woods. Okay, so you get there. You have living in this house normally. It's you, your sister Sam, and your mom and your dad. And you get there, and no one's there, and you're trying to figure out where everybody is. Pretty much, that's what you're trying to figure out. Now, some good things about the game. It's a scary game, but it's not meant to be. I mean, it's kind of meant. It's a weird kind of scary.
All right, first. Guys, spoilers for the next few minutes.
Yeah, there's going to be some spoilers. Unless, Dan, you want to play this game.
No spoil. I don't give a damn.
All right, so we're going to spoil it for the next few minutes.
You're in this big house. You walk in. Most of the lights are off. And it also, because they just moved in, shit's kind of all over the place. Now, the game, like I said, it's almost like they're trying to make you, at first, they're trying to make you think that it's going to be a scary game. Like shit's going to pop out, or there's going to be ghosts or some kind of paranormal thing. But really, was actually my favorite part about the game, is the only reason why it's scary is because it's just a big, scary house. And it's like how it would be, like if you were alone in this house, you would leave every light on in every room you go into. You would just, it's terrifying, especially because it's new for her, this house, because her family just moved into it. It's also new for you because you're just playing the game right now. Right. So it's almost like you have a similar perspective as the character does.
Well, that's good orchestration.
Yeah, that's
really good as a thunderstorm, hardcore thunderstorm.
Yes, and the thunderstorm is terrifying because you'll be walking down a hallway, and the thing is, there's nothing really scary in the game. There's like nothing really scary.
That is my favorite part of the game too, is the fact that there's nothing there to harm you, but you're still looking in rooms as though like it made me feel like I was a child home alone for the first time in my house. Yeah. And like being afraid to look down the stairs into the basement.
That's what it is. I mean, they do set up some little story, because what happened, you later find, is that Sam, your sister, was because you start finding newspaper clippings about the guy who used to live at the house, and how he was like, he was a doctor or something, or he was like crazy, and they called it like the crazy house or something like that.
It was her uncle.
Yeah, it was her uncle, but it was also like there's newspaper clippings about how he was like the town doctor and how he went crazy or something, or like all this kind of weird stuff. And then your sister Sam, you start finding stuff because she thought that the house was haunted. So you find like weird books about like poltergeist sometimes. So it kind of makes you think that something's going to happen, but really nothing ever does as far as a supernatural type phenomenon. So the game is good in that respect. In that one particular thing, it's good. The actual story of the game, really, what it is you're trying to figure out where your family is, but what it turns is about. It's more about Sam. It's about your sister Sam, and you're finding these clues all throughout the house that Sam left for you, and pretty much Sam is your younger sister. It turns out she's a lesbian in high school and is experimenting with her cool punk rock friend, and they want to be part of like the punk rock scene. They have a cool band, and then her friend decides that she's going to go away to the military, and wham, I'm going to miss you. And this is where I get let down in this game, is you're going through this whole thing, and it's step-by-step progression. You're learning the story, and the story's pretty good. But when you get to the end of the game, there's sort of like this place that you can't get to. It's the attic, and it's where Sam's dark room is, and you can't get there till the end of the game. But when you first see this spot, this attic, it's kind of scary because you just figure something scary is going to be up there. It's like this red light surrounding it because it's also her dark room. Mm-hmm. And you finally get there at the end of the game. And I don't know, I wasn't happy. The way the game ends is that you're reading through this girl, Sam's story, and Sam's telling you how her girlfriend left for the military, but then she decides not to go. And she picks you up in her car and you drive away into the sunset. And that's how the game ends. I just felt so like let down. I just felt like
the game has a happy ending.
Yeah. Yeah, but
you just felt that portrayed like the story leading up to it?
You know what it is? It's kind of boring to me.
Yeah. Boring?
It's kind of a very boring way to end that whole experience. Like I just didn't, and like literally while they're going through that like boring ending spiel, like she's like, they're doing like Sam's voice, they normally always do like Sam's voice. Like this like happy like Top Gun guitar music is like almost playing, and then like they cut to the screen like, thanks for playing, gone home or some shit. And I'm just like, really? Like I'm not moved by this at all. I'm not even impacted remotely by this. And that was 2.5 hours. I spent $20 on this. 0 replay value on this game. Wow. You have to be fucking kidding me.
Right.
You have to be fucking kidding me. I get it. It's a good game. Like I'll tell you right now, it's good, but not $20 good. That's a $9.99 game.
That's a $10
game.
That's a $10 fucking game.
So you would have a completely different opinion if it was $10.
I would. Yeah, I'd say it was worth $10, but I would no. My opinion wouldn't be completely different. I would just say it's worth buying for $10.
Right.
I still think that the ending is cheesy, and that I almost wish that because they try to do, they cause a lot of misdirection, which I also kind of liked because you find yourself trying to figure something out when there's really nothing to figure out. That's also what happens throughout the game. You find yourself like trying to figure something out, but there's nothing to figure out. Like they leave these clues about her dad and these stuff that her dad does, and like every room is missing the cable box. And it turns out her dad does reviews for he used to be an author, but now he does like reviews for like technology for an electronics magazine. But there's like clues about him everywhere, so you think that he's going to be a valid, something about him is going to be important in the story. Really not.
Well, then there's Ranger Rick and the mom.
Well, that's the whole thing. And then Ranger Rick and the mom. I thought I had the whole thing figured out as soon as I found the Earth, Wind, and Fire ticket stub thing and the note about that.
They were having an affair.
Yeah, well, I figured that what happened, here's what I thought happened, and maybe I'm just let down because it wasn't my ending. But and also you find Bibles in like every room in the house. So what I thought happened is right after I found the Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets and the little note about Rick to her friend was that the father, the mother is having an affair with Rick, the ranger, ran away with Rick. The daughter, Sam, became a lesbian and ran away with her girlfriend. And the father found out about this. The father's like a Christian because of Bibles everywhere. He's upset because his wife left him. His other daughter left him. You go up to the dark room at the end of the game, and what do you find?
Dad's hanging.
Dad's hanging.
Right.
Gone home, motherfucker. Right. Everyone is gone.
Well, there's a clue in the conservatory with the plants that has like a couples retreat.
I remember that. And they went away. That's why the parents weren't there. They were gone from the fifth.
They don't tell their daughter shit about their family.
It also says that there's also a hint to that right in the beginning of the game that the parents have gone away from like the 4th to the 7th. If you look.
Calendar.
In the calendar, right by where the answering machine is over in that area. So like right away, if you pick up on that, you know why the parents aren't home. But at the same time, you still are looking for something else here. Like you just don't like. There's like like there's like I get misdirection, but some of the clues they left just made no fucking sense.
They misdirected you to nowhere.
Exactly.
Well,
I've seen film. Go ahead, Josh.
So to comment on the ending, because I see your point with the ending, because I thought at the ending, because you go beneath the stairs, and that's the second to last room that you find.
Yeah, pentagram.
And there's the pentagram, and Sam's audio diary. When I went upstairs, I was like, either things are going to turn out good, or Sam's dead up there. Like Sam's hanging, or she slit her wrists, or something like that. That's what I expected. And I agree with you in that sense that. I was kind of also like, oh, so the moral of this story is yay for teen love conquers all. And I don't particularly buy into that stuff either. But the thing that after kind of talking it out and kind of internalizing it a bit, I was like, well, it is nice that so often in games they have a gritty ending or the mature ending. Games love to do that thing where they go, oh, but everyone's dead. And I was like, so it's nice to have a game that is, ostensibly a romance game. It's a love story. We get so few actual love stories. Normally the guy is too strong and too put upon to actually have time to fall in love, or, the woman is dead and he must avenge her. So to have something that was, somewhat heartwarming, even, obviously you didn't find it that way, but I thought it was good.
No, I can totally see that. And I could say that that's a great, that concept is a good concept to not be the game where everyone's dead at the end and that there is some sort of heart war. But I just feel like the way they went about it, it just wasn't, they put all this thought and all this time into all these details in this game and the idea of this game, and it just ended on such a predictable, they could have done something better.
So I think what Gregg is kind of making me think now is that the story is very there's the misdirections there, but none of them actually deter the actual from A to B learning about Sam and
you're on a rail pretty much. No matter what, everyone's gonna have the same story and the same experience for the most part.
I had a pretty different experience than Josh did, though, in certain aspects. Though it's about how you receive the information that makes the experience different.
How do you figure?
Like how I'm exploring is different than Josh.
What do you mean?
It's like reading a book. We're gonna have different opinion on it. Everyone's reading the same words.
Yeah, but you all experience the exact same things, though.
Yeah, but based on my preconceived notions and my experience in life, my brain is going to take it in
but
differently.
The game is telling you what the story is. There's there's really no room for you to
Well, there's also the idea of if you don't find the right clues or you don't see the right things, you could come away with different interpretations on what is happening or what happened.
But you really can't not see that, because you need to sort of find everything to get to the next section. The game is you need to
not everything. There's one piece of information that you can find in each thing to move forward.
Yeah.
There's no sequence. Well, I mean, I see what you're saying, but then that's my thing with Gone Home. I think I said it when we talked about it a couple weeks ago, is that it just feels like a virtual narrative to me. It felt like a book. It felt like I was reading a book, but I was able to see what I was reading. So that's why Gone Home shone for me, because I figure maybe it is on the pricey side, definitely. But I think Gregg's right with the $10 mark. It's almost like reading a book for me. And that's why I enjoyed it, I think.
The game should be $10 or even under. I could compare it to almost anything that I'm going to do this and no one's going to like
Kentucky Route Zero.
But if I look at Kentucky Route Zero, it's like $5 more. And within the first two acts that I played for 8 or 9 hours already. Mm-hmm. And I went back and played them again. Mm-hmm. And there's replay value to that. That's 15 hours probably already, and there's 3 more acts coming out.
I mean, the replay.
How can you justify $20 on that game?
There's no.
Not to mention that Kentucky Route Zero the story is just so unique already and beautiful. The art is just beyond anything that this game is just a cool adventure game. It really is a cool adventure game.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. That price point is is ridiculous.
I agree with you. If there was replay value, then maybe you could justify it. But
you know what? I'm dropping it down to $7.99. That's a $7.99 title.
I'd pay. I'd pay.
I thought 15 was its sweet spot. That's where I thought 15 would be, especially on release, because where that money really went is to making sure that all those physics and all the graphics look comparable to what you see today. Because obviously it's not a strikingly pretty, but it is a fairly pretty game, especially for an independent title that 6 people worked on.
Yeah,
and so that's where the price point is.
It didn't have to be though.
So, sorry, say again?
It didn't have to be incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to make it that pretty. That's something that they chose to do.
Being a child of the 90s, I enjoyed the fact that it took place there. I think that was probably 30% of the enjoyment for me was finding Pulp Fiction tickets and finding...
There's a couple of those things, but I feel like people who live on the West Coast are going to enjoy it more than we did, especially if you live in like Seattle or like Portland or in like that kind of like any sort of like grungy kind of like I just feel like I really didn't relate to the characters that much, or it didn't really remind me of my childhood. It didn't like, there were things like quirky things like that, but at the same time, like I just felt like I didn't really connect with it the way I thought I would. I was like just very much on the outside.
Yeah. No, I liked finding the Liz Frank Trapper Keeper and the old board games.
That was funny. Yeah. The Trapper Keeper was funny.
There are things there that let you know that you're definitely in the 90s that transcend both East and West Coast like technology. The dad is into conspiracy theories, and that's the book. He writes books on JFK and assassination, the JFK assassination, and he has like rows of VHS tapes of all recorded shows from television, like the X-Files. Yeah. So
there's the boombox and the mixtapes.
That was like, cool.
Yeah, and those
sounded like it doesn't matter though. I haven't played this game, but it sounds pretty thin. 90s references. So does it matter? The story does it make any difference? Could it have been 1890? Oh no,
I don't think that's true. Like I feel like there are parts of that story that kind of hinge on the 90s and like the time frame and the way that the gay community was framed in the 90s and things like that.
Whoa, what's going? Oh, wait, that's why
Greg's doing the jerk off. Greg's doing the jerk off motion.
The lesbian sister was being persecuted because of the
fucking
gay
civil rights video game bullshit.
Not persecuted, just misunderstood.
Fucking social injustices. We gotta fucking tie all this shit into these games now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna do this. All right, let me just say, the joke in the game, the one joke in the game that the only joke that I found in the game, maybe you guys found a million more jokes than I did, was when you go up to Sam's bedroom and there's the bulletin board outside the door, and it says, Sam, don't leave all the lights on like your sister does.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point in the game, you've literally left every light on in the house, every room you go into, because it's so fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it was a funny little nod.
It's got its moments. It's got a moment.
It has a moment.
Do you ever see that movie, The Whackness?
I love The Whackness.
The Whackness is good.
Yeah, I don't like that movie because there's for a number of reasons, but like they're so proud of themselves for setting a movie in the 90s. They're like, it's the 90s. Right. Biggie Smalls, look at my Jankos. It's the 90s. Let's go to the mall. It's just like smashing you over the head with what time period it is. That doesn't that shit does not matter. Like unless it really informs the story or the narrative or characters.
The one thing that they did justify the 90s thing with was like how they had like their punk band together. The two girls like built their relationship with like music and stuff like that. But
that Seattle grunge scene.
Yeah, the Seattle grunge scene thing. But I don't know. It's starting to sound like I don't like the game, and that's not how I feel about it. I don't not like the game. If anything, I almost wish that journey was longer, and that the ending was possibly nurtured a little bit more. Like maybe they spent that's how it feels to me. It feels like they made this really good game and they had this really good idea, but they were like, let's just end it like this. Like we already put all this time. Let's just end it like this. Let's just give them the happy ending. By the time that the players get to this point, they're going to have a really good time, and it's not going to matter that much. That's how I felt when I got to the end of the game.
Did you put when you went into the kitchen? Did you put stuff in the microwave and the?
No. Oh man, that's
nothing happened.
You missed out.
That was my one gripe with the game. I mean, I enjoyed it way more than you, it seems, but it seems like my one gripe with the game was like they allow you to interact with a lot of those things, and there's no gratification.
Well, my whole it literally the game started out. I was interacting with every single object, spinning it, twisting. By the end of the game, I'm like, that's a soda can. I don't gotta look at it. I don't gotta look at it.
Like you can open up the fridge and touch and rotate every object in there, and literally nothing in the fridge serves any purpose. So that's the point.
Just some time wasted.
Once again, that you're talking about the price point. Once again, there's technology that has to go into touching everything, making everything, and
but if they don't have to take all that
away.
Yes
and no, it's definitely yes and no. Look at a game like Slender, which is pretty successful for nothing. A game cost probably nothing to make and just some time. pretty popular.
Like that whole thing, like
polished,
the technology to touch and move everything. Like it's really not like that. It's like they literally create that dynamic once and then they just duplicate it on.
But you also have to go through and make sure there's no bugs, like that. Nothing like when you're picking up and interacting with everything. If you pick up the coffee mug and set it down on the table,
that's not worth an extra $10 to me. Like, and I don't think it should be worth that much to anybody, just because like you're gonna pay the price, the double price of the game, just so you can pick up every object and look at it, even though there's no point behind it.
The way
in Skyrim,
the way that I justify it, but I don't. It's like the game gives you these systems by which you are to figure things out, and by the end, you have realized this, so you are doing it to every single thing. So the game has conditioned you to be a certain way, which I still consider somewhat manipulative gameplay.
Yeah.
Even though it may seem like time wasting, it's this system. I mean, it goes to fundamentals of games and theory. Like, you are trained by the rules of this game to actually, be, you have these systems to work with these things. You use these systems to solve the game. So by the time you're in the kitchen trying to warm up fish sticks or whatever the hell I was doing, I'm still playing the game, even though it seems like I'm wasting time.
So is it better than the Half-Life microwave experience?
No, that's the best thing.
That's the best thing.
That's the best microwave experience in the biz.
My God, Gordon!
You're a little snark guy.
I think just like we can stop talking at this point. I think what gets me is that I think at this point with games, I'm so used to at the end of a game like being emotional, and that's almost why I play certain games. Is that like I'll play a game and at the end of it, and it's always such an emotional experience for me because the writing has always been like over the top to me, or like affected me more personally, I guess. But I just feel like this story is written for a certain kind of person, and I feel like it's not really balanced,
right?
And I feel like some people will get that feeling out of it, but I feel like most people won't.
Certain people will definitely vibe with it a lot more, absolutely. But don't you feel that this is still an experience that you didn't mind having in a certain way, like? I
think that's where my gripe is, because I got to a point in that game where I was starting to feel like that's the direction it was. Like the game was going in a direction where, like, as that story progressed, I'm like, oh my God, this is just about this girl being in love with this other girl and running away from home. And I didn't lose interest, but I was getting worried that it was going to go down like this like really happy road, and that it wasn't going to be what I wanted it to be. And then at that point, I was almost not rushing through the game, but I was like pushing because I was getting late. I wanted to do it in one take. I didn't want to stop playing. I was already like almost 3 hours in or whatever, and I got to the end, and I literally, it almost like the game just didn't end. Like it just, I'm like, really? It's over? I'm like, that's it?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it sounded like.
I hate going through 3 hours of anything and then being like that, being like.
How did you feel when you were about to go up into the attic in the dark room?
I felt like fuck.
Yeah.
Like I felt like, holy shit. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to see something scary finally. Because I'm going to see the dad hanging, like swaying. And right when you woke up, there's like that bed on the floor. I'm like, oh, she killed herself and she's laying in this bed. Nothing.
Because you go over to the bed before you make that right to go into the thing. And you're at that point, the game has done such a good job of creating this like suspense and atmosphere. And I think that's 80% of it. And then
I think based on what the game had done, like how it set up everything, I feel like there's no payoff at the end, like a guy hanging or something like that could have satisfied me. I feel like the ending would have, like, even if they didn't make it happy, it would have had to have been ambiguous, right? Like you get there and this sounds stupid, but like you get there and there's like a bloody knife, or you get there and like there's rope and a noose.
Not even. See, that's the thing is like that is what I'm not saying that I would have thought the story would have been better if it got to the end and the dad was hanging by a noose. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that I feel almost like maybe it just shouldn't have ended right there, or maybe they just should have took the story, an hour before that into a slightly different direction to make something a little bit more gratifying at the end. It just felt like once I reached the end of the game, I literally felt like I really had no control in the story, that all the little things that I found, the little clues that I was trying to mentally catalog in my head meant nothing, that all this was
they didn't, because that's what I was saying about games before. It's just, they made you do that shit, and at the end they were like, haha.
No, but see, the thing that was the game to me. Like that was like learning all this stuff, and you can say, well, that's what the point of it is, but it meant nothing at the end, and like this story that I was the most least involved with, like the most least concerned about was Sam falling in love with this girl is like the high point.
Sounds about as involved as like an escape from this room flash game. That's about as deep as the story gets by the end of one of those too.
Literally, what it is, it's your typical like ABC drama. Like girl loves girl goes away, girl comes back. Like it's like parents don't understand. My parents don't understand. I love this girl. We kissed for the first time. It was amazing. Like it's not like it's something I've never heard before. And I'm sorry if I sound ignorant right now. This is not like Gregg hates lesbians, because that's not it at all. I just felt like the story was like a fucking after school ABC TV show, you know, and I just
not a very rewarding experience.
Not for me, at least. Yeah. Not for me. I didn't get much out of it. I do have. I'm not like saying every story has. I do like storytelling in general. I can say when something is done like really well, and when it's, you know, I just feel like this particular story was kind of weak at the end.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's weak all along. If there's something wrong with your third act, there's something wrong with the first. They just didn't have anything, you know, they just plotted out this thing it's an experience. Well, it sounds like an experience experiment. I guess
the fact that we're even talking about it this passionately, hopefully people will just go play it for that reason. Well,
if you've listened to the spoiler cast, you can't play it now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But if you want to come back in now and you didn't listen to that whole thing, then once Gone Home hits a Steam sale or something, I would definitely play it.
Yes, that's definitely when it's worth picking up.
Which it'll probably be next year.
Yeah.
Sometime.
It smells like a humble indie bundle game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely worth it at that point.
It's getting late.
What other game? Okay. What other games?
What do you mean, okay?
I mean, you're rushing us along here.
Well, we've been 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, since we started talking, probably in the beginning, we recorded for like a half hour. Anyway, so let's get into news then. The PS Vita TV was announced over in Japan. How does this make everybody feel? Good,
Japanese.
Bad? You feel Japanese?
I think I'm turning Japanese.
You really think so?
I do.
So the PS Vita TV is out. You can play Vita games on your television for $100. It's actually a whole new standalone console.
I was asking you about this before, but don't most games on the Vita, can't you play them on your PS3 or PS4?
Some of them are cross-buy, which means if you buy them... Well, Josh, you're the PlayStation guy. Go ahead, take it away. Or not. So anyway, Josh?
Oh,
he's calling back in. Hold on. Oh, we're calling him back right now.
It's not gonna work though. We don't have he doesn't have the right version.
Josh?
No, he's not on. We gotta wait for him to come back.
All right, do you want to cut? He'll call back in. So anyway, PS Vita TV came out. Well, it didn't come out. It was announced. So you can play PS Vita games that are cross-play with your PS3. So if you buy them in the shop, you'll own them on both platforms.
Right.
But this is different. This is like if you don't own a Vita but would like to play Vita games, you can play them on your television with a DualShock controller.
How much does the Vita cost?
I think the Vita is $200 right now. But that's something they also announced is a new Vita in Japan exclusively right now. It's lighter, bigger LCD screen, blah, 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 blah. New colors. So it was about time they did that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they offer a bundle with the PS4 eventually. Yeah, so that's that. You guys play any Vita games? No?
Vita games?
Vita
games? I don't have a Vita.
I just kept going forward on the Metal Gear Solid quadrupilogy. What's the 4? With trilogy
quad.
It's a quilogy.
It's a quilogy.
Quilology.
Those are still good. I think Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of my favorites, though.
See, but everyone had a problem with Metal Gear Solid 2 because you switch over to Raiden for a while.
That didn't really bother me. I mean, Snake is there. You know, you're right next to him most of the game, and then whatever. That's such a butthurt fanboy thing. Like, I need to be the guy with the dark mullet. I remember
at first we all had a problem with it.
Right. Yeah. Well, just because you love Solid Snake, he's so super cool. It hurts to not be him.
It's like playing Mario and all of a sudden like, oh, you got to be Toad for like for the next half of the game.
You can be Toad, I guess, in Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, you can be. And in this one. Well, if you're playing multiplayer. Anyway, TGS is coming up next week. This week we have Amnesia coming out today for tomorrow when we post this, and then the Puppeteer will be out, which is it looks like a pretty innovative platformer on PS3. I think we should all play that.
Jeez, I hope Josh is okay.
Let's hope Josh is back next week.
What if they nuked Chicago?
Oh no! What if that was it?
They?
What
if they nuked it?
Oh no!
Man.
Shit! Should I answer it?
Yes.
We were just getting into the hypotheticals.
We were just Josh? Hello?
Yeah.
You okay, man?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Gregg was coming up with this theory that Chicago just got nuked. Tidal wave.
It got dicey for a second.
It skipped New York and landed right in Detroit and Chicago.
It came from the West Coast.
Both simultaneously.
I'm standing on top of my building. I'm ready to go.
It was such a tall wave that both sides had a wave, and it came inland and it's heading our way now.
Yep. So
what did happen there, Josh?
my Skype froze up.
Ugh.
That's cool, but inexcusable.
Yeah, don't reveal people the mystery that we're using Skype. They can't tell from the noises that were beep boop boop beep boop. So Josh, we were just talking about PS Vita TV and also the new PlayStation Vita sizes.
Yeah,
but we went past that already. So thanks for joining us.
You missed it.
It's all right. I'm sure you guys were just totally fine without me.
We killed it, bro. We fucking killed it.
It was clearly the weakest part of the episode, but who's counting?
Who's counting the weakness?
No.
I just started to talk about the Puppeteer and how we should all play it, but
I'm excited for Puppeteer.
Yeah, I'll be probably picking that up tomorrow. It should be a good one.
And Amnesia too. Everyone get your Pampers ready.
Yeah, I got them ready.
I'm out on Amnesia. You guys have fun. I'm just gonna play Puppeteer.
Dan, it sounds like a pretty stark contrast. I think Dan and I are both going to do
a cast of the
another way arounds of Amnesia, so we'll post them simultaneously or we'll mix them together or something. Josh, I'll probably post a Puppeteer as well. Actually, we'll see. I'll probably either have Dan or Gregg join me for another way around that. And I like how we're rattling that title off like we own it now. Like, yeah, another way around that. Another way around that.
You do own it, bro.
Oh yeah,
it's intellectual property. It's all yours.
I haven't said it yet.
We do.
Another way around.
Well, I was mentioning it before when I was talking about Rayman. I said Gregg and I did another way around thing, and Gregg was asleep, I think.
No, I was awake.
Gregg side of the table got nuked.
Gregg side, the tidal wave. All right. Any other news, Josh? We have one email that we have to do.
We're good on news.
All right. So, Josh, we have an email from
a Twitter
at random fan
tweet
man.
mail.
That's what they call it, right?
Tweet. It's like a tween mail.
A twail. A twail.
We have a twail.
An
Josh.
E-twail.
Josh, so you want to go ahead and do this twail?
Yeah. So let me get here. It's from Brennan. Brennan says, what are a couple good Steam games you would recommend? I took this to mean like something that's not cross-console, that's specific to Steam. And my thought was Hotline Miami, even though that's on Vita. I still feel like the PC is the place to play that game.
Yeah.
No, it is. No, they have that on Vita?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That is meant to be played with a mouse.
Very much so.
And this is like a weird, like total homer pick, but I love Crusader Kings, and you should play it on PC.
I would say Hotline Miami is a really good choice. I think Gregg's going to say Gone Home.
Yeah. Pick up Gone Home full price.
For the narrative alone?
Pick up Gone Home for $20, idiot.
The ending is fantastic, says Gregg.
No, get Kentucky Road Zero. Don't be an idiot.
Oh, God.
Game of the year.
That's a good recommendation.
No, that's a good one.
Gregg talks about KRZ more than I talk about BioShock.
BioShock is up there for my game of the year this year, but there's nothing. I say it all the time.
Every single podcast.
It's just such a unique experience for me. I love it so much. He
compares it to every game. Rayman, actually, Kentucky Route Zero. The dog has a hat.
I don't do that.
I know, I'm kidding.
I don't do that.
Dan, was there any games that you recommend in recent time?
TF2 F2P, son.
Oh, Dan's a TF2 guy.
It's free. Go get it. What are you waiting for, Billy Joe Tweet Man? Let's go.
Yeah, Brennan.
His name's Brennan.
No, it's not. It's Billy Joe.
Billy Joe Brennan.
Billy Joe
the
Brennan.
twails.
Get off Twitter and go download Team Fortress 2 for free. It's free, you goof.
I would take a look at what's on sale. I would play Thomas Was Alone if you want a quick one.
That's a good one.
I would play Hotline Miami without a doubt. If you haven't played that yet. I would play, if you want to get in some competitive multiplayer, try Dive Kick.
Also, the obvious Counter-Strike Go.
CSGO, give it a shot. It depends. I don't know your experience level, Brennan. I don't know
These are great Steam games, though.
I think Counter-Strike Go might be a little intimidating. I think all my picks. Hotline might get a little tough at first, but it's a learning curve.
Brennan, do you do jury duty?
If you,
Brendan, please respond.
Have you ever been dismissed from a jury, Brendan?
No. Brennan, we have the game for you. McPixel. I don't know if any of you have played McPixel, but you just click.
Just pick up MirrorMoon EP. That's the only game you need this year.
Very easy.
But get high before you play it.
Yeah.
I know what kind of game Bren wants to play. Get Rape Simulator 2014.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the AwayCast. You can follow us at the AwayCast. Check us out on Facebook, Facebook.com.
It's like the AwayCast or something.
The AwayCast. Oh, Josh, by the way, I have a bone to pick with you on your latest quick play or whatever play, another way around play. You said check us out at theawaycast.com.
Oh,
just AwayCast. God damn it!
So stop, man. You gotta start studying.
Why don't we own both of those?
We're gonna hit you. We do.
I'll just write it down.
We'll
do that great idea you had.
I gotta do that.
We'll just record me saying it right once and then just use that from here on out.
Okay, you can do the outro then. Go.
Oh, God. No, I'm not ready.
It's just goodbye, son. That's all you got to say.
Good day, sir.
Bye.
So check us out at awaycast.com. AWAYCAST.com. Greg, thanks so much for hanging out.
No problem. My pleasure. Anytime.
Dan?
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure hanging out, dude.
All mine.
It is all yours.
All Dan's pleasure.
Josh, thanks once again, pal.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so check us out for content during the week. We have some more stuff coming up. As you can see, we're releasing videos. We're doing Twitch streams. We're doing a bunch of fun stuff. No giveaways this week, but they'll be coming soon. Oh, Josh, I figured you want to say goodbye because this is a very important episode for you. It's the 22nd episode, and I figured you want to do something like double deuces. Deuces, yo.
Oh. Deuces, yo.
All right, guys.
The longest outro ever on this show.
Video games.
Goodbye.
Guys, Greg has a problem with something.
Let's start again from the top.